typically this game, something strange happens, either on the court, off the court. I don't know how you go about preventing that, having coached in the ones that you have.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I just try to think about basketball, and we need to get a win. As far as strange things that happen, I'm going to leave that to other people. Strange things that happen that bother me are guys making shots that never make shots. Enes Kanter, his brother actually, getting 17, making 3 threes. That's a strange thing. That's the strange stuff I worry about. All the other stuff, got to win the game. Got to find a way to win. We got 48 more hours. We got to find a way to win this game. But you're right. But I got to worry about trying to find a way to win.
Who are you worried about over there?
They got 5 guys average double figures. 2 top 50 recruits in Scruggs and Marshall that I think will both play in the NBA. Gooden's healthy. I know he's battled different things, but big fan of his because he's got tremendous toughness. All 3 of those guys to me are high level players. And Paul Scruggs is a really high level player. He just didn't get a chance to play a lot last year. Similar to Jaron for us, his freshman year, when he came off the bench. Najee Marshall's without a doubt going to play professional basketball.
You have a few more guys that played in this game last year than they do. Does that make any difference at all?
Execution, rebounding, defense. To me, that's what matters.
On the other side, younger guys who haven't
Kanter hadn't played in the game.
For the younger guys, how do you prepare them for the environment? Does someone have to explain to them why this is such a big deal if they're not from here?
I don't know. I leave that up to the guys, really. So it's not something we talk about 362 days a year. So got to be execution. I don't think people realize for both teams or for a long time. I mean, this is not the ship sailed years ago of the David and Goliath and this one-time huge game. We both have very established high major programs. And when you play high major basketball, it's extremely hard to win. Now, it's different for the fans, but it's just as hard for Xavier to win at Butler, for Cincinnati to win at Houston, who's established themselves. So for the players, those games are hard-fought games. They don't get the fanfare, and there's not as much going on in the city or in the stands. But I can promise you, you go play at Butler. I've done it. Go play this Houston team right now who's up 37-18 on Oregon at half. There's a lot of hard-fought games. So I worry about young players that haven't played in any hard-fought game. But to your guy's point, if you're not focused and you're worried about everything else going on around you, which goes on the road in different crowds or at home, and if you get distracted, you're not going to play your best. So, you got to focus on what's going on between the lines, because that's what decides the game. The other stuff's ancillary. It really is. 2 years ago, we out-rebounded them. We won handily. Last year, they out-rebounded us bad. They won handily. Regardless of what was going on in social media or the stands or where the game was played. Physical domination determined the last 2 winners of this game.
Do you see any difference between what they do now with Travis as opposed to what they did with Chris?
Well, I think in fairness to Travis, he's trying to piece it together. He's got, 3 fifth-year guys joining his program, 1 starter back. So, they're not a young team, but they haven't played together. So, so you're trying to get I would see they're trying to do the exact same. Obviously, they do some things different. They don't play the 1-3-1, or they haven't. They may spring it on us, but they haven't. He's more of a 2-3 guy as far as their secondary defense. There's different things that I'm sure that he's doing differently. But if it isn't broke, you don't fix it. You know, I mean, so the problem is same thing I'm going through. When you got a bunch of guys didn't play a lot last year, and new guys, so their gap defense, their pack line defense, it's hard to build those habits with those guys because they've been playing under somebody else's system for 4 years.
And they got guys in different roles this year too, just like you do, I guess.
Exactly. So I think they've played a rough schedule. So it's not who you are now. It's who you become a couple months from now. But in fairness to him, I mean, it's not like he inherited a team coached by Chris Mack.
You talk about how both teams are kind of on even playing field. Was the arena the last piece to that, to really getting on that?
Talking about for us? Well, I don't really compare myself to anybody else or us. So if you're in, our arena was much needed for a long time. But I wouldn't say that in relation to anybody else. And I haven't ever really toured their facilities, so I couldn't tell you what else they have, other than playing in their arena. I haven't really toured their practice gym or locker rooms and all that type of stuff. But in the world of facilities, it's never ending though.
Does it mean anything more to be playing the shootout first year you guys are in the arena?
No, we got to win. I worry about winning. Maybe to other people. I still haven't even walked around our arena. Last time I walked around, it was the Dust Bowl. Wasn't finished. So I haven't walked around and got a chance to see everything. So for me, just trying to find a way to win the game.
You obviously get this game and why it's so.
I'd play it in the Armory if I knew we were going to win.
You obviously get this game and why it's so important. Are they still special to you at all, having been a part of so many?
I think, as a coach, when you see Urban Meyer retire, he obviously, I know his family. I've got a chance to meet him, his son's here. What I went through, that hits home for you. So, like that happening the other day, I was watching it all day. Because, if he decides to never coach again, it was the last time he ever got to coach against Michigan. So yeah, you better, you've earned it in your career. You wouldn't be there, but you got to try to savor some things. You obviously, I'm saying, hey, we got to get a win. So that's all that matters. But not only just this game. For me, it's just try to savor everything. So I say this all the time. When I drive to work, I realize, I got a pretty good situation. So yeah, every time you're in this, it's you appreciate it. You got to win though. If I mention it.
This isn't a specific Xavier question, but when you're game planning against another team, you're watching film. What do you specifically key in on? Like what stands out to you when you're watching film?
Well, it depends on the team, but every game. I think this would be universal. You got to figure out what they're good at, your opponent, and if you let them do it, they're going to probably beat you. So if you're like Northern Kentucky, if you let Drew McDonald, if you let him play through Drew McDonald, he's going to carve you up. Then he's going to carve his scoring. Then he's going to carve you up with his passing. So you got to try to disrupt them playing through him in his comfort zone. It's like, just for an example, some teams, when you watch them, first thing you think is, oh my gosh, their defense is a problem. Some teams, their offense is a problem. And you got to adapt it to what you do. Okay, how can we beat them? So there's a lot of things that go into that. But I would say this, how can you stop in basketball? You got to stop teams from scoring easily. Because I'm a big believer that layups and free throws win games. People make those at a high percentage. Even you did back in the day. I mean, people, they just do. So you got to, how can we make sure we're not giving up layups and free throws? And then when it comes to shooting, you got to, who's their better shooters, because the three-point shot can be, this day and age can be a big problem.
And Keith Williams specifically, to me, when I watch him, it seems like he's all over the hustling like crazy. Has he been doing that his entire career?
No, it's always been Keith, you know, and you know, Keith's a guy that he erases his mistakes with his athleticism, what you see. You know, I see that he may have been out of position, but then he scrambles and blocks the shot. He may have forgot the play, but he gets the offensive rebound. So he's got a long way to go as far as fundamentals, but he's such an elite athlete. He's a great complement to Jaron, who's more of a fundamental scorer. But yeah, I see the same things. And for me, I have to live with some of his things that aren't fundamentally sound right now in his career because of the athleticism. And it fits our style. And it really complements Jaron. It's a natural to, you know, Keith is just he loves basketball, he's got a high motor, and he's a gifted athlete, very gifted athlete.
Jaron, UNLV, you talked about they did some different things, doubling him.
Yeah, every pick and roll.
So how do you, whether you know what they're going to do, what it's going to do, how do you and how did Jaron combat that move?
Well, I went through it with Sean Kilpatrick back in the day. You know, I thought the best job of it was at the Ole Miss game. He got fouled. You know, I thought the other night on his drives he was looking to score instead of looking to get fouled against a team that was playing him very tightly. So it's a teaching process, number one, for me with him. And then number two, he's got to come out with the mindset of I'm not going to let this guy just push me and deny me. You know, when coach is running things for me, I have got to make sure I'm using these screens, and he can't let guys just physically overwhelm him off of screens. But it's a lot of energy.
Is he too hard on himself?
No. He's not used to moving without the ball the way he needs to move without the ball. But most kids aren't. Like I said, you know, it took SK to his 5th year. Jaron's in his 3rd. So it's a process. You know, got to be in great shape to use screens. Everybody wants a coach to run all that stuff for you, but your usage gets high, man. You got to be, you know, it's not easy. And then the last part is on me. Game plan. You know, whatever a team is doing, if they're going to sell out to eliminate him, we got to make sure other guys are getting layups or playing horse. So then they have to stop doing that to him. But you know, so it's both of us, he and I.
Trey, I know it's the cool thing to say that it's just another game, but it's not, is it?
I mean,
rivalry, the city, the fans, it can't be just another game, right?
I mean, it's a rivalry, but I mean, I'm from Georgia, so it really didn't mean too much to me. Like I'm gonna say it again, it's just another game. I'm not a Cincinnati kid, so it's not no big rivalry, big hoo-ha, whatever. It's just another game. We're gonna prepare for this game just like we did every other game. It's business.
What do you have to do against their big guys?
Say it again?
Marshall, Jones, their guys. What do you have to do against them to be successful?
Just continue to do the things our coach worked with us on, like the stuff I was just working on before I came here. Just be physical, outsmart them, outplay them.
For the younger guys, even though it's business-like approach, you know the atmosphere is going to be different and crazy. How do you talk to them about balancing being intense but not getting too gassed up with the way everyone is?
I mean, we all, like from all the older guys, like not only this game, from every game, like for the younger guys coming in, we all tell them, like just stay cool, like don't get too hyped up. Like that's really the only thing we tell them, like just stay cool. Like, I mean, but this game is gonna be different because of the atmosphere, like you said. So we're gonna tell them the same, just stay cool, just be ready to play and just have great energy whenever you do play.
Xavier's had the upper hand in this series for the last 10 years or so. You're aware of that, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you more anxious to put a stop to that and stop the recent domination?
Oh yeah, it makes me way more anxious, especially with me not playing a lot. Well, I played way more last year, but like my first few years, I didn't play too much in those games. So now with me playing way more minutes, I have like a way bigger chance to help UC be successful. So I'm like way more anxious now that I'm playing more.
So your first year here, when you were redshirting and you saw that game, what were your impressions of it? You didn't play in it, you just watched it, but you had a good seat for it.
Yeah, my impressions was this series, while I'm here, this series is gonna be crazy. Like it's gonna be rowdy every time we play them, no matter each team record. We could be 10-0, they could be whatever. They could be 10-0, we could be whatever. No matter what, this series, this rivalry gonna always and forever be crazy. So
So do you, when your schedule comes out, do you look to see when this game is?
Yeah. Like I always do that. I look to see our tough games, and I always just spot out to see what day we play Xavier, how early in the season, the time. I look at everything.
You hear it around campus all week?
I honestly haven't been on campus too much. I mean, I had class, but I usually just go to class, put my hood on. I don't like talking to too much people. I just go to class and come back, so I don't have to hear about it, honestly. That's cool.
It's widely considered one of the best rivalries in college sports. How fun is that to be a part of something like that?
It's real fun, actually. A lot of players don't really get the opportunity to be a part of something like this. And for me to be blessed to be a part of this type of rivalry, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's just a blessing. Like, it's a blessing, and it's a great opportunity for you to go out and live something historic, something you could talk about forever.
Same thing I asked Trey. The tagline is it's just another game, but you played in one, sat through another. Can you really say it's just another game, or is this one a little bit different because of the rivalry?
Nah, I mean, last year I would say like I felt that, but this time it's really feel like it's just another game.
This time is really what?
It feels just like another game.
It does?
Yeah.
How much did you know about the rivalry when you came here?
Before I came here?
Yeah.
I didn't know too much about it, to be honest. I just knew about that one incident, and then after that I learned more about it. But other than that, I didn't really know too much about it.
What were your impressions of it the first time you saw it in person?
It was great. It was here. It was my first year here. We won that game actually, so it was a great experience to be a part of that team.
Just about the atmosphere and everything.
Yeah, it was great. It was at UC, so it was a blackout. I think I remember it was blackout, and we won the game. So it was Troy and our senior year. I remember that. So it was great. It was a great day.
So they've kind of dominated this series in the last 10 years or so. What does that do to you in terms of your motivation?
Got to get the win. Just be a part of something special. With this team, last year we had special moments. This to be something that we can accomplish that last year's team didn't.
Last year they got off to a quick start and just took over the game right from the start. You got to prevent that, obviously.
Yeah, sir. They kind of like got up on us and then looked back, so we can't let that happen. Got to just come in ready to go right away.
For whether it's not a rivalry game or just a big game against a big-time opponent, how is it different this year knowing teams are game planning against you a little bit more and scouting against you?
I mean, I try not to think about it, to be honest. That's what I try to just go in the game, just worry about me and what I can do to help my team win. Obviously, I know that other teams got me more probably, but you can't really think too much into that. You just got to go out there and play.
Do you look forward to this game?
Yeah, yes, sir. I look forward to it. Like, one of the ones you circle as a player on the calendar.
Why?
Just the name of the school, the name of the conference they're in, all that type of stuff. You want to beat teams like that.
Came off the bench last year and got, I think it was 16 or something like that. You know what the game is about now. You're still coming off the bench, but you start looking at that clock at like 18 minutes, 17 minutes, going, all right, when do I get in? When do I get in?
Yeah, you just got to, whenever coach calls, you just got to be ready. Last year, same thing. I had to be ready when he called my name. So that's how I look into it. When I get out there, I'm just like a starter or whatever. So I just wait for him to call my name so I can get out there and try to help my team win.
Thanks, King.